today from across the India and around the world. On behalf of 11 elite brains, it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to this powerful global session. Unlocking billion dollars trade opportunity between Asia and Africa, a strategic gateway with AACCI. Today, we are not just discussing trade, we are discussing transformation. We are discussing access to a corridor that represents over 60% of the world's population and a rapidly expanding USD 450 plus billion trade ecosystem. Asia and Africa are not emerging markets anymore. They are emerging the powerhouses. And the question is not whether opportunity exists. The question is, are you positioned to capture it? In today's session, we will explore high growth sectors shaping the next decade, smart market entry strategies, cross border trade frameworks, institutional support system that reduce risk and accelerate growth. If you are serious about expanding beyond borders, if you are ready to think a global instead of local, then you are exactly where you need to be. It now gives me immense pleasure, honor to introduce a leader who doesn't just speak about the global trade, he architects it. Mr. M.J. Puri, Director General of the Asian African Chamber of Commerce and Industry, is a visionary trade strategist and institutional builder who has been instrumental in connecting Asia and Africa through commerce, diplomacy, and the leadership platforms. Under his dynamic leadership, ACCI has evolved into a powerful bridge linking governments, entrepreneurs, investors, and policymakers, transforming conversions into collaborations and ideas into impact. Mr. Puri is known for creating ecosystem where opportunity meets executions and where the partnership turns into progress. As he often believes, trade is not just about the transactions, it is about transforming nations through trust and collaborations. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming a leader who builds bridges where others free borders, Mr. M.J. Puri.
Thank you, Mr. Salil bhai. Thank you for this. I really appreciate your courtesy and your introduction. For all the viewers, ladies and gentlemen, this is M.J. Puri. I'm the Director General with Asian African Chamber of Commerce and Industries. I'm very happy to be on the web virtual show today with Mr. Salil Patel. I'm sure it is going to be an exciting journey to learn, know, and explore Asia and African markets. Thank you.
Yeah. Should we start our questions?
Yes, please. Let's start.
Yeah. We will start with the one big picture question. Mr. Puri, why do you believe Asia-Africa trade is entering a $1 billion opportunity phase right now?
Well, if I rightly would love to answer, you have already answered this question, Mr. Patel. As we all know, Asia-Africa market is already into $400-500 billion business exclusively. China has been a major player so far with around $280 billion business. Not leaping back or not, staying back, India has also crossed nothing less than around $90-100 billion business so far with African belt. As you correctly said, if you look at the growing population in Africa as of date, it is one of the biggest market which anybody can explore. Asia being one of the best trendsetter, maybe we can say in terms of technology, manufacturing units, know-hows, can definitely work upon a better market and play a play like a better player for the African market. So I mean, there is no doubt. I mean, it is not that we are just speaking around. The figures are there, the fact figures are there, right? So Africa indeed is a $1 billion market. I mean, like, we should explore.
Regarding the market dynamics, I want to ask, which sectors between Asia and Africa currently present the most immediate and scalable opportunity for investors and exporters?
See, if you ask me, look, I mean, I would say the 360-degree trade market open, but if you ask me still for some specific sectors, I think, infrastructure and construction is one of the most prime industry, which contributes to nothing less than around $130, $170 billion business. Agriculture has always been pioneer, so agriculture, agri-tech can be the best markets to facilitate in. Renewable energy at large is also one of the most upcoming markets in Africa. Apart from this, healthcare is always a need. Pharmaceuticals is a back-end support. Anything and everything related to healthcare. It could be medicines, it could be that's why it's pharmaceuticals, equipments, anything, knowledge, technology, doctors, correct? Anything related to technology. I've been recently visiting a lot of fintech fairs in Africa. So fintech is now booming in Africa. Correct? Digital currency is already activated much way back. So you can see things are all fine-tuned. Anything related to manufacturing, Africa is a very big potential market, and I believe anything which adds value, Africa is the right platform for it.
Okay, thank you. Third question I want to ask regarding the data-driven insight. What are the current trade trends between Asia and Africa, and how do you see them evolving over the next 5 years?
See, if you ask about the latest trends which is happening, in my last decade, if I just sum up for the last 5-10 years that I've been visiting Africa, what I've completely seen is it's a very nice South-South cooperation which is moving in. It means the developing countries are trying to help the developing countries, correct? So this is a very rare combination. Anything, again, the old traditional system of just exporting your products, maybe the raw ones, have now evolved into value addition products. So previously people used to export food grains, for example, maybe some onion, garlic, whatever. I'm just an example.
Yeah.
But now that has been evolved to a value addition. Now only the garlic is not exported, even the garlic powder is exported. So anything which has a value addition to it, correct? It is much trending, it is much easier. So I think anything which comes in with a value addition in terms of adding more value to the manufacturing product is something which is growing and in trend in Africa as of date.
Fine, thank you. Fourth question, just I'm asking about the challenges and barriers. As obviously when the Africa comes, this question comes on the first side. What are the biggest challenges businesses face when entering cross-continental markets, and how can they overcome them? And also elaborate regarding that how the AACCI will be the bridge to fill the gap.
Okay, let's answer the first question first way. Look, of course, I understand that when it comes to Africa, there are a lot of soft stories floating in the market, and people tend to believe that is unsafe, but that is not the reality, to be very honest. Correct? Any place which is coming up, which is emerging up, would have its do's and don'ts. Correct? So accordingly, if you ask me, even for maybe, let's talk about the Indian entrepreneurs. Say for example, forget about the Asian, let's talk about the Indian one. I believe anybody who is looking forward to go and do business in Africa, the challenges which usually people face, one of the biggest is due diligence. You are not able to find the right partner. Anything and everything that looks gloomy on the Google is not correct. So the first thing is to identify the right grassroots level partner to be supportive. As most of the African nations are still developing countries, of course, they would be having challenges in terms of their policies, their registrations. Sometimes we might find it not that supportive. We might find it more complex. Correct? Some rules and regulations for which we are not aware. Taxation structures, of course. So these could be some of the few challenges which we face. Apart from this, yes, being developing, forex would be a limited concern. So payments might be at risk or might be delayed. The banks would not be in support, to release your funds as and when you want because of the limitation of the forex. So these could be some basic challenges which usually is faced when an entrepreneur is trying to, get into the African market. Now, answering your second question, how AACCI can be a bridge? I would say that is what Asian African Chamber of Commerce and Industry is made for. AACCI works as a bridge. It does the hand-holding initially to help to find the right grassroots level candidate which can work as a partner. Of course, with all the kind of connections and licensing AACCI has, we would be very supportive in supporting them with the rules and regulations, maybe the registry parts, licensing with the ministries, if at all required. Correct? We'll be able to, guide them, I would say, to identify the right scope and the right area to get started with. And the prime of all, which we have been doing for all our members all these years, of course, the due diligence. Because that is the most core aspect of any business. So that is where I believe AACCI has been playing a very important role all these years. And yes, we will be continuing to doing this much better day by day, right? As and when we grow, we are still growing more deeper, more harder. So that's how we have been able to support, and we are still supporting. So that's the way it is.
Absolutely fine.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Now my fifth question is regarding the role of institutional support. How does institutional backing, such as through AACCI, reduces the risk and accelerate cross-border expansion?
Okay, I'll make it more easy for you to understand. Most of the time, what we do is we try to dig out something from Google, right?
Yes.
And we strongly believe that anything and all the informations which are placed on Google are 100% correct. Now, it could be a myth, right? So you always know a known seasoned player who has already been on the ground before. Correct? AACCI has been instrumental since 2018 in Africa. But prior to 2018, Dr. G.D. Singh, my chairman, has been instrumental in Africa for even more than a decade plus. I would say maybe from 2005. Correct? So there is how AACCI got into structure. This was the thought. So with this kind of experience, with this kind of traveling, with this kind of network, correct, AACCI can very much be instrumental in supporting. Again, it's like, someone is trying to go to a place for the first time. All the unknown fears are there. And what if you can have a local guide to show you around the place? Right? Your journey becomes more easy. You save on your time. You save on your bad experiences. You get the right pin in the right time. So of course, anybody who is looking forward should always have an institutional partner. It's more safe, more advisable for them, right? So that when they come back home, they come with good experiences and they share good experiences rather than bad experiences. Correct? So that's how I believe anybody who is looking forward to grow up should have a good, strong institutional partner to support, guide and take them ahead. So that's how I believe AACCI can be helpful.
Fine, absolutely fine. Yeah. Now, I just want to ask about the strategic positioning. How can the SMEs position themselves? Because SME is the growth engine of the India. SMEs position themselves strategically to tap into large-scale Africa-Asia trade corridors.
So I think, look, positioning of any SMA is very important because as we all know, not only India, SMEs, they contribute to around 60% of any country's GDP. Correct? And that is the reason SMEs are supposed to be, or maybe they are known as the spine of any country's economy. Correct? So now when it comes to positioning yourself, you always need to see how exactly you would like to be placed, what is the vision and mission of the SME that is planning to grow cross-border. Sometimes we also need to have hop-ins. Say for example, there are a couple of challenges which are faced in African market, but still Africa is one of the biggest market to get in. Now, for example, if an Indian entrepreneur wants to explore an African market, I believe there should be a stop. That stop could be maybe Dubai. Because the reason I say is, Dubai again is a place of doing easy business. The rules and regulations are fine. There is completely 100% security available. Registering a company in Dubai is again easy. You can just park your company anywhere in any of the free zones available out of all the Emirates of UAE. Correct? So parking it out there, holding your bank accounts there, correct? You can still have your operations in Africa. So there could be a system wherein you can adopt or adapt a system wherein build to ship to kind of a concept works in. So this could be one of a very good aspect wherein you can explore. Again, while you are traveling to Africa from India, by default, right, you have to take a juncture somewhere.
Yes. Stopover must be there, yeah. Or maybe the junction.
So it's even easy for you to travel if you're holding something in Dubai. So I always suggest my fellow members to have some holding in Dubai while you're looking in for Africa. Again, when you are in Dubai, you get a multicultural experience. Around like maybe 200 to 50 plus country nationalities are there in Dubai. So you also have a scope of getting into a next level networking, which can be very important. Okay, looking on the same grounds, AACCI has been much active to create this corridor much better, and that is the only reason. Again, this year itself, we also have one international event coming in Dubai on 27th and 28th of March. It's Global Leadership Conclave that we are organizing for 2 days.
Very nice.
Last year also we had one very successful event in Dubai. This year again we have a very successful upcoming event in the month of March. If I'm not wrong, my statistics have shown that we have somewhere around 25 countries participating in this event with more than 70-75 top level speakers across industries. Correct? So you can just surf on AACCI websites. You can file this upcoming event information. If you want, I'll share it for you so that you can share it to the viewers. So this is a very nice upcoming event. I would like to welcome everybody who are available, who would like to explore something next level in terms of networking. This could be one of a place of its kind. So like one single juncture, you are able to network in 25 countries. So I mean, it's like visiting 25 countries in 2 days. So that is the beauty of the event.
Absolutely fantastic that you are giving the insight for the events, AACCI events. Yes.
Thank you.
Now, just I want to ask, can because you share all the views about the Africa, but can you share about the real case example? Like, can you share an example where the AACCI facilitated a successful cross-border partnership or trade initiative?
Okay, how recent development you would like to hear? Should I tell you a development which was just done in January 2026? I think that would be a better idea.
Yeah, it's a better idea. Rather than the past, then it's a very immediate.
The last year, okay, but still if you ask me, the last year statistics would go somewhere around $37.5 million business supports, which was supported through AACCI. If you talk about this current year, we started with a blast. That is, we started with procuring a very nice solar project, which one of my committee members, who is the chairman for the electric vehicles, Sudhi, he was able to procure one of the best project in Zambia, and the project holds around 500 megawatts projects divided into 5 segments, with a PPA, that's power purchase agreement, of 25 years with 2% increment a year, and that also supporting I would say the highest rate so far. 8.3 cents per unit is the highest in Africa so far, right, which has done under the PPA. The
Very
earlier highest was just 7 cents, right? So when we talk about AACCI, with this support, we always try to see how best we can do license things and we can negotiate to the next level. So that is what is all about AACCI.
okay. Absolutely fine. Absolutely fantastic. Now we come into the action oriented. As we have talked so much from the inception. If a company is listening to this webinar today, any company, and wants to expand into Africa or Asia, what should be their first 3 steps?
Well, I guess I mean like there are no steps as of now. But even say for example, if somebody is looking forward, I would say, and if you just want me to put that into 3 steps, I think the first step should be they should understand that Africa is not a country; it's a continent.
Yes.
Most of the people have a notion that Africa is a country. Africa is built up of 54 countries. Every country has its own specialty which could generate the requirement to their respective product or services. So the first step should be they should carefully understand, view and review where they would like to establish. One. Second, once they have identified the right area of performance where they would like to go and establish or sell or service, right, they should then look in for a very genuine actual partner who can be very supportive at the local level. This is step 2. Third step, I believe they should always do a hand holding with any institutional agencies. Maybe, okay, I'm not saying because I'm just in AACCI or I'm a DG of AACCI, but yes, any strong, powerful institutional support should always be there, who can always guide them, support them, not only locally but also in terms of, I would say supporting them in terms of political support. Like say for example, they should always be connected to the Indian embassy there, right? So if anything, anytime goes wrong, right, there is always an Indian embassy who is there to support, correct? They should be having some kind of political supports which are needed. So institutions like AACCI can very much be supporting in those cases. So if you ask me 3 things, yes, the first is identify the area, identify the right guy, and go with a known, performed institution always there to take care of them. So these are the 3 things I guess you should take care of it.
Absolutely fine. Now we are come to the closing of the question, and then we should take question answers of the listeners. Okay. How does the AACCI act as a strategic gateway rather than just a networking platform for business looking to expand? Because nowadays networking is much more. Means all knows how to do network, but nobody should be the strategic gateway.
Okay. As our founder and chairman, Dr. G.D. Singh always says, your network is your net worth.
Yes.
Correct. So, I mean, like, again, but AACCI is not only just a networking platform. Come on. I mean, we are a chamber of commerce. We are not an organization. We are a chamber of commerce ourselves. So, we just not only give a networking platform, but at the same time, we help in trade facilitations. We take a lot of delegations. Say, for example, we are already planning for a medical tourism delegation coming up in a couple of months from AACCI. So, we will be supporting the Indian healthcare, right, in terms of supporting them by medical tourism. So, AACCI takes a lot of medical, a lot of delegations. AACCI works basically as a corridor in supporting the SMEs and MSMEs who are looking for cross-border businesses. We also guide them on what trade policies and what things are there.
Yes.
There have been multiple examples I can tell you, wherein our members wanted just to export to Africa, and wherein we have recommended them not just to export, but to start a smaller sized unit there in Africa.
Are you mean to say manufacturing or something like that?
I'll tell you a simple reason. Say for example, there are two examples. Say for example, party A or member A was just looking forward to export a product. He would have his limitations in terms of quantity first. He would have all the concerns like whether the buyer is genuine or not, my payment will not be stuck, it will be a custom cleared thing, all these things. And again, he has to pay all the kind of import duty. Say for example, if somebody is trying to export to Kenya, and again now he wants to send it to Ethiopia, so again he has to pay a second import duty tax. Yes. But for example, if he has a small manufacturing unit there in Africa, any of the country, he can definitely avail the benefit of Africa Free Trade Act. It means anything which has been manufactured in Africa, one single country, they can export it to the whole continent without paying any import duty. So this will reduce a manufacturer's taxation cost or the landing cost, nothing less than 15 to 20%.
Okay.
Now, for example, when we are talking about a manufacturing unit and when we are talking about products that also of an export quality, 15% on the gross makes a huge sense in terms of your profitability. Apart from this, there are special treaties signed for the European countries, even for US with African nations. After having a manufacturing unit there in Africa, they can also avail those kind of special privileges which they might not be availing just sitting back home here.
Okay.
Right? So there are a lot of combinations, there are a lot of things which is, which should be carefully considered before just jumping into anything. So this is again the reason I say, you need an institutional partner who can guide you, not only just show you the single way, he can guide you multiple things. And look, every business is different. If every business is different, the requirement is different. Right? So there is where AACCI stands strong to support, and we have been doing it. Our past track records always show that, and we are always happy to say that yes, we have been awarded as the fastest growing global chamber also. So it's not only the words, it's the action that speaks louder.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Lolo.
So just you are giving you the answers, just I want to elaborate like that, like the same like in India and the SAARC nation, what the advantage we get in the same pattern in Africa region wise, the country will get the advantage of manufacturing.
100%. Why not?
Okay, thank you. Sure. In just we are now on conclusion stage or concluding stage. In one sentence, what would you say to a business leader who is still hesitant about exploring Asia-Africa trade opportunities?
Say for example, if somebody is hesitant, the only word I can say is sorry. My dear friend, Asia and Africa, they constitute to nothing less than 60% of the global market in terms of population. So just imagine, it is one of the biggest market. So if you are not still ready to explore one of the biggest market, maybe someone who's sitting next to you might explore it, correct? So if you want to stay back home, sit and just watch the television, you can. If you actually want to explore, go ahead in the field, check for yourself and take the first initiative to do it, right? So that's how I would say, either you stay back home, right, and just keep on bumming around nothing, or else take the first step, go outside and explore. If you want to become a millionaire in coming 5 years, trust me, Africa is the market.
Absolutely fine.
Thank you.
Now we move into the, if any questions from the audience, let me take I think all our appearance of the webinar, in our webinar are getting some basic idea about the Asia-African.
No problem. To all the viewers who are watching me live here, or even if you are watching the recorded on AACCI YouTube channel, you are all free to get back to me. You can always surf AACCI, that's asianafrican.org, that is the website for us. Please feel free to put in your inquiries, queries, and we'll be happy to serve you. Thank you so much. I really thank Salil Patel. Thank you so much for conducting this. I'm grateful for everybody to have your time. Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you.